In 2018, Russia signed a contract with Egypt to supply more than 24, possibly up to 30 units, Su-35 fighters and armaments for an estimated US $2 billion in contract. On July 22, 2020, at the Tolmachevo, Novosibirsk airport, netizens recorded the landing of the first 5 batches of Su-35 fighters, likely made for Egypt at the NAS manufacturer and flying from Komsomolsk-on-Amur to the European part of Russia for further delivery to Egypt. The aircraft also lacks identification marks and has a tail number on its hull from 9210 to 9214. It can be assumed that currently 10 Su-35 fighters with tail numbers from 9210 to 9219 have been built at NAS for Egypt. As such, Egypt is likely to become the second foreign buyer of Su-35 fighters after China, which received 24 aircraft in 2016 to 2018 under a 2015 contract worth an estimated US $2.5 billion. In 2018, a US $1.14 billion contract was signed to supply 11 Su-35 fighters to Indonesia, but that was suspended for political reasons. There is also information about a deal in 2019 for the supply of Su-35 fighters to Algeria. The sukhoi Su-35 is the designation for 2 improved derivatives of the Su-27 air defense fighter. They are single-seat, twin-engine, supermaneuverable aircraft, designed by the Sukhoi Design Bureau and built by the Komsomolsk-on-Amur aircraft plant. The type was originally developed by the Soviet Union from the Su-27 and was known as the Su-27M. It incorporated canards and a multi-function radar, giving it multi-role capabilities. The first prototype made its maiden flight in June 1988. Following the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Sukhoi redesignated it as the Su-35 to attract export orders. 14 aircraft were produced and used for tests and demonstrations. One example had thrust vectoring engines and was in turn redesignated the Su-37. A sole Su-35 UB 2-seat trainer was also built in the late 1990s that resembled the Su-30MK family. In 2003, Sukhoi embarked on a second modernization of the Su-27 to serve as an interim aircraft awaiting the development of the Sukhoi PAK-FA Su-57 program. Also known as the Su-35, this version has a redesigned cockpit and weapons control system and features thrust vectoring engines in place of the canards. The type made its first flight in February 2008. Although it was designed for export, the Russian Air Force became the launch customer in 2009, with the production version designated Su-35S. In March 2019, it was reported that Egypt would procure over 24 Su-35s from Russia in a deal valued about $2 billion, finalized in late 2018. Deliveries were expected to begin as early as 2020 or 2021. Deputy head of the Rosoboronexport Sergei Kornev denied the signing of any contract to supply Su-35s to Egypt. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo warned Egypt against buying Su-35s. On the 19th of May 2020, Russia began Su-35 production for Egypt. Egypt received 5 factory new Su-35 jets on 28 July 2020. On the 5th of August 2020, the first Su-35 fighters arrived in Egypt.